Right, and we've had a bite. Happy days.
Well, this is the out of bounds area.
First of all, we need to track them down. We need to find them.
And I still can't see anything. Oh, lovely drop. We've got a bite.
Welcome to a new video. We are back on a bank, and today you join me on my local big fish water. I'm here for a short session. I'm going to have a good look around. The weather is absolutely prime today. It is so carpy. It's about 14 degrees, wet, a bit of wind, and very mild temperatures, 14 degrees. And we've had some very cold spells lately, very cold nights, and it looks so good for a fish today. So I've decided to come onto this venue. It's got some really good fish in here. I fished over 40 pounds, some plenty of sort of backup fish as well. So there's a really good chance we could have a big one. So I thought, why not? The weather looks good for it. Let's go out, give it a go, and see if we can have one. But first of all, we need to track them down. We need to find them. So location is obviously key. Let's have a walk around, see what we can find, and hopefully we can drop on a few fish and we'll end up having a bite. But yeah, let's crack on, walk around, and hopefully we can track something down.
Well, this is the out of bounds area, up to the left here. Visibility is pretty poor, can't see a lot. This area here is off the back of the wind. It's kind of a little sheltered bay. There's actually no fishing in this corner. You've got that lovely little point that comes out over there. There's a swim a bit further up, but you can't really fish down to it very well. And then there is a swim a little bit further on the end, but you can, maybe with a baiting pole or a bait boat, you'd be able to sort of get a rod up into this out of bounds area. But I was actually looking earlier when I first drove in. I jumped out and stood here for quite a while, but I didn't see a thing, and I still can't see anything. So I don't think there's anything in here, to be honest. So I think we give that a miss. Right, the rig then, lead arrangement, everything is the same on both, so I'm using a hybrid lead clip, 3-ounce lead, and then some weighted tubing. This one, the hook length is the tungsten loaded from ESP. I've got a little weight in the middle just to hold the hook length down. I've got the counterweight towards the hook, which is obviously to balance the pop-up. I'm using a Slip D Ronnie. I've then got a little Fruitalicious 12mm pop-up from DNA on there, size 4 crank hook, and I've got a little oily bag of the ground bait mix, and that's been wrapped on to hold the rig in place to stop anything moving, so I get perfect presentation. I'm just going to flick that out in front of me into open water. Right, the rain has finally stopped. I'm just going to put this out into the area where I've seen what I believe to be a bit of movement from some fish. I've done a whole lap of the lake. I've not seen a lot, but this is sort of the only area I've really seen anything, so we're gonna flick them out into the area and just see if anything happens. Oh, lovely drop. Right, this one is gonna go closer in, slightly to my right.
So the rods are out then, and how about this for a carpy swim? I've got a boat as a back rod rest. Very, very cool. Yeah, nice little swim this. I've had a walk around the whole lake. There's quite a lot of people on, a lot of people down towards what is the bowl section, which is a little bit deeper. But this morning, the sun was out, it was really, really warm, and it is really mild today. And as I was sort of walking up through here, I've actually seen what looks to be some fizzing, some potential signs of fish out in the sort of central zone. There's also a swan working the area, which I believe is possibly trying to pick off some of the fresh weed that's growing up. So if there's fresh weed, there's very much a good chance that there could be some fish out there rooting around. So it's the only real sign I saw. I looked around all the like sort of snaggy overhanged areas. I walked around the bottom end, but there's a lot of guys down there, but I did still have a look around, but didn't really see anything. No one had caught anything. No one was really doing a lot. There was a group of lads right down the bottom end of this bank, just stood in a group having a chat, and didn't look like much was happening down there. And the wind's pushing down that way, and it actually feels quite fresh on the wind, whereas up here it feels a lot warmer. And with that sun out this morning, I think this water, because it's so much shallower, would have really warmed up. And I think that's potentially why I've seen some signs of fish out there. So I've just dropped out 2 rigs. I've put one out towards where I've seen the fish show. I've had a really nice drop on that, and then the other rod I've put a little bit shorter, again had a nice drop on that as well. All I'm using is a little pop-up, and I've just got a mesh bag of some ground bait, some really oily ground bait, and all that is there to do is basically just give a burst of attraction and flavour and scent signals into the water to try and bring that fish in. There's just going to be that one hook bait for them to hopefully pick up and just get me that bite, because essentially I'm just looking for a one bite tactic today. I'm fishing a very short session, only about 3 hours, so that's all I can do really, is just fish for that one bite, and hopefully one of these rods goes rattling off. But the rain's starting to get heavy now, the camera's probably getting soaked, so let's go and save the camera and let's get that kettle on. Got a coffee then. So it's been really wet since I got here. It was wet putting the rods out, wet getting set up. It's finally cleared up a little bit, and I've been able to get out from under the brolly and watch the water a little bit. Now the swan's been working up and down in front of me, and I think it's definitely trying to look for fresh weed growth and sort of bits and bobs to eat, because it's definitely searching around out there a lot. So I think it's a good indication personally. The signs that I saw that made me get in here have kind of stopped now, which is a little bit disheartening, but I think it's because we've had a lot of rain. Might have cooled off the water a little bit maybe, and also the introduction of 2 leads and putting 2 rods out in the swim has probably also sort of potentially put them off a little bit. It could have even spooked them. Maybe if I had a baiting pole and dropped them in nice and quiet, it might have been the one. But anyway, they're out there fishing. I'm on the best sort of chance that I've been able to find. So you never know, it could go rattling. But what I'm going to do is just watch the water, drink my coffee, and hopefully something either gives itself away or one of these rods goes absolutely blasting off, because I think if one of them goes, there's a chance it could be a chunk. So yeah, let's hope one of them goes rattling. Okay, we've got a bite. Well, the rod's gone off, but I don't think it's a carp. Oh, it's come off. I think it's a bream. Oh dear. I don't know how he come off. Pretty sure that was a bream. Oh, a bit of action. Right, let's put that back out. Oh well, that spot's obviously a good area. Presented nice. Back out on the spot. Right, and we've had a bite. Happy days. Yeah, not the intended species, and it dropped off, but it was a bite. Yeah, got the heart racing a little bit. Actually turns out, I've just spoke to someone that was having a walk around. Turns out a fish come out down the bottom end this morning. So someone didn't let on to me about that when I walked around. So I didn't speak to every single guy. And the bloke that had it wasn't in the swim when I walked past. He had it at swim 5, and there was the rods were lent up against the brolly in swim 5 when I walked past earlier. So fair enough. But yeah, a fish has been caught. So I was definitely right in coming up here, because you know it's a very tricky lake, and I thought with the conditions the way they were, the fish were potentially going to switch on. And there you go, someone's had a fish. And to be fair, this lake doesn't do many bites. So you know, it can produce bites at the right time of year, but at this time of year it's definitely a struggle. So anyone having a bite is a result. So fair play to the guy that had one. That is definitely a result at this time of year on here. So anyway, I've got about, I reckon, 20 minutes until it's going to be dark, and then I can fish probably half an hour, maybe a bit more than that, into dark, before I'm going to probably look at packing up. The gate on the main gate shuts at 7 o'clock. It's automated on like a timer, and you don't want to get locked in, because you either probably get banned or probably get fined, I expect. So I don't want to go doing that. So anyway, hopefully it goes rattling off. I'm probably going to put the kettle back on, have myself a brew, and I might have a bit to eat as well, and hopefully I'll be updating you in a bit with a fish. Right, that's the end of the session then. I'm back in the van, all the kit's loaded up. Unfortunately nothing happened. It's been a while since I've been here, so it was nice to come back. Definitely had a few liners. Looked like there were some fish in the area, so there was definitely a chance of having a bite, but it just wasn't to be. So I'm definitely going to come back though at some point and have another go. There's some really nice fish in here, and I think it's worth putting in a bit of time. So if you do want to see a few sessions on this lovely place, in the chance of maybe catching one of the big girls that's in here, then let us know in the comments below. Until next time though, get out on the bank, enjoy your fishing,
and be lucky. I'll see you in the next video.